I was inside federal court this morning for Riley's sentencing. No cameras are allowed inside, but I can tell you that some of the details the prosecutor said were graphic in nature as she described the text messages Riley admitted to sending to an underage girl. Riley's attorney argued that his sentence really began in 2017 when the investigation began, but the judge did not buy that. Retired Narragansett police officer Matthew Riley leaving court a free man until his 21-month sentence begins at Fort Devens in Massachusetts on March 26th. The 52-year-old was sentenced in federal court in Providence Friday morning after pleading guilty back in November to one count of transferring obscene material to a minor. Prosecutors say over the course of 4 to 5 months in 2016, Riley had an online sexual relationship with a girl from Nebraska who he knew was 15 years old, sending nude photos and an inappropriate video to her. The conversation stopped when the girl's parents discovered the text and alerted officials in Nebraska, who alerted the FBI. The victim was not in court but sent a statement saying in part, quote, "The person who committed this crime against me is a predator and he will always be a predator. I hope that this statement will help protect others from the person who robbed me of a good portion of my high school years," end quote. We spoke with one of Riley's attorneys, William Murphy, after the sentencing.
And he did accept responsibility from almost moment one in this case. And here's a man who served 28 years on the Narragansett Police Department, who otherwise led an exemplary life.
Can you talk about the sentence that was imposed today?
It was the high end of the guidelines. It was a tough sentence.
U.S. District Court Chief Justice William Smith gave Riley the harshest sentence possible for this crime, saying in his opinion it was, quote, "the deal of the century." He recommended Riley serve his time at Fort Devens because it's the closest prison to Rhode Island with a sex offender treatment program. Riley addressed the court himself at his own sentencing, apologizing to his now 16-year-old son, 18-year-old daughter, and wife of more than 20 years. In Providence tonight, I'm Kate Walsh, Eyewitness News. 52-year-old Matthew Riley, a Narragansett police officer of 28 years, now on the other side of the law, set to start a 21-month sentence at Fort Devens in Massachusetts on March 26th. What do you think about the sentence imposed? Riley pleaded guilty back in November to one federal count of transferring pornographic material to a minor, a 15-year-old girl in Nebraska who Riley met on a texting app. At sentencing, the prosecutor said while Riley ended that relationship when the girl's parents discovered the text, he still had a disturbing sexual history online nearly a year later. Riley himself apologized to the court, saying, quote, "There's no excuse, it was wrong, it was immoral, it was illegal." At the time of the sexual relationship, Riley's daughter was the same age as the victim. U.S. District Court Chief Justice William Smith delivered the harshest sentence for this crime, recommending Fort Devens because it's the closest prison to Rhode Island with a sex offender treatment facility.
I just hope that Matt Riley can put this behind him. It was a tough case. The judge gave him a hard sentence, and hopefully now that Mr. Riley is done with this case, he can put it behind him.